Petals. Oh, in Tennessee, I think. I think that's what that part. Hey, hello. Uncle Birch coming to you live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. Nobody over here on. Oh, there's somebody in there on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Hello, TikTok. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Coming to you live from New Orleans on the dual broadcasting system thing. Waiting for people to get here. Invite another host to go live together. Let's see who's live. Okay, I don't know any of those people. Hello, Benji. Non-Sedan. Hello. Hello, whoever's over here on YouTube. I can't see anybody because they haven't commented. Oh, Sigrid. Hey, how the hell are you? Merry Christmas. Is it Christmas there yet? Or is it Christmas Eve? It's Christmas Eve here. Teresa, hello. Oh, it's your initials. So you're not in Tennessee. Okay. Uncle Birch come to you live from New Orleans. It's a lovely afternoon and it's not fucking cold. As you can see, I don't have a bunch of shit on and a big fucking beanie. I still have some beanie hair. But it's kind of nice out here today. Well, and you have a good one too, Susie. Hello over there on YouTube. So we're coming to you on YouTube at Uncle Birch. If you want to see this later, if you missed something, I wax profoundly about something that you missed, you can go over to YouTube and watch the rebroadcast, because over here on TikTok it just disappears. I can download it if something really cool happens during the live. Coming to you live on TikTok and YouTube. Tomorrow is Christmas in Denmark. We have got lots of snow. Oh, you got a white Christmas in Denmark. Go figure. Hello, all you people over there in TikTok. If I don't know you, let me know where you're from. Share and follow if you're not following. I do my best work alive. Also on TikTok, you have to manually set up your notifications for each person that you're following. So you'll be notified when they go live. There should be a little, if you hit all the people that you're following, there's a little bell. Hit the little bell, set your notifications to be notified when that person goes live. Over here on YouTube, I'm not sure how it works. I think if you're subscribed, then you get a notification. First heard of you from Mind and Magic years ago. He said you made his potions. Yes, Frater Xavier's a good friend of mine and been a customer forever. We are working on getting him on our podcast Widdershins. He said to hit him up after the beginning of the year. Saturn's candle is what color? Black. I don't know about blue and yellow. That doesn't seem to make any sense to me. I'm saying black. Black for Saturn. I don't know where the blue and yellow came from. Just slap those people. Not blue and yellow, bastards. Calgary, Canada. Hello. I bet you're having a white Christmas up there. Well, I don't really know anymore because nature's broken. We keep going. We get up to 70, and then the next day it's like 40. And then like tomorrow it's gonna be back up to 70, probably for a couple days, and then we go back down to 40. And it's just
it'll be high 70 on Christmas Day.
Be high 70 on Christmas Day. Definitely not gonna have a white Christmas. Dad Witch Voodoo, hey, how are you? And your lovely daughter. Susie's gonna be right back over here. Follow Dad Witch Voodoo. I like watching his daughter do magic. She has a better take on it than a lot of you. But kids already know the magic, and if you don't beat it out of them, they will be better magicians than you. We only got winter 2 weeks ago. The earth has really changed. Yes, it ain't right. No, I'm not in Oklahoma, but I guess you are. Coming to you live from New Orleans. More likes attract more viewers. Yeah, give me likes if you can. Hit double tap the screen. If you're not following me, follow me, because I do my best stuff live. It's like I over here on TikTok it's been about 2 weeks now since Candlegate. where I talked about cheap magical products yielding cheap results. The maximum you have to make your point is 3 minutes. and so I had to follow up on that video to make my points when we went into talking about sweatshop products and people using those to make magic. Um, People got really incensed, and then when I did the follow-up video, they said, you weren't talking about sweatshops, you were talking about sweatshops. Like, well, you know what? I was in the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth video. Um, I do pretty good at making a point in 3 minutes, but there's only so much you can fucking say. So you got to do follow-ups, and you get people all pissed off about stuff that haven't watched all the videos. So, yes, our weather is drastically different every day. Yeah. That's pretty much what we're getting over here. Not a whole lot of rain this time of year. We get most of our rain in the summer. Thank you. She said hi. Hi. Jumping for joy seeing you. Hey, Alex. I love watching your spells. You do cool spells with the pine cones. See, she's over here. Alex over here. She's doing some serious magic over here, and not buying a bunch of crap to do it. It's like, when we went through the whole Candlegate fiasco, one thing that nobody ever brought up, but I eventually brought up, it's like, well, maybe don't use a candle. You can't afford a candle that didn't come from a sweatshop. Who the hell said you needed a candle for your fucking spell? What is this, Candle Magic 101? Ridiculous. I can only imagine the bad energy from sweat. Exactly. Well, and you're supporting sweatshops, you know. Not a whole lot of people hit on that one. Hey, Astro Strega, how are you? Did I see you as a consultant on Cursed Films? Yes, you did. Episode 3, I believe. They're filming season 2, so I'm still waiting for my callback. We shall see. Yes, that was my living room when we were in Hollywood, and our incredible view. Like they wanted to shoot, and they came by the house and looked at that and said, "Hey, we just shoot here." There was like a whole film crew in the house, lighting, fucking boom mics, and directors, camera people. Especially living in Hollywood, right across from the Capitol Records building, it was a Hollywood thing to do. So yeah, check me out on Cursed Films. I think it's out on AMC now. It used to just be available on Shudder, which AMC owns, but I figured it would make its way to AMC, and right around Halloween or Samhain, they started showing the thing on AMC. Let's see if I missed anything over here on YouTube. Uncle Birch coming to you live on YouTube and TikTok, so I'll be going back and forth to the different screens. Yeah, same way of mining for crystal. When I carried stones at my brick and mortar witch store, I went through great pains to find crystals that were not mined from native land, that they were sustainably mined, and that the miners had a union. Those things were important to me, especially crystals, because they hold a lot of energy. Yes, had a lovely solstice. It was cold here, so it seemed like solstice. Dogs are barking at something. Encourage viewers to share your live. Yeah, share my live. I encourage you to share my live over here on TikTok, and there's probably a way to do it on YouTube as well. But we get more people, then it's a better show. There's more and more questions and stuff. So we typically, hey Jen over here on YouTube, we typically spend a lot of our time talking about witchcraft and people asking questions. There was one, I'll probably make a video about this, but somebody posted a comment and then removed it on TikTok, and I can still see it. If you post it, I can still see it, even though you removed it. And somebody was giving me, oh yeah, you have a TikTok. Yeah, I got a few of them. I got Uncle Birch 2, Uncle Birch 3, Witch School, WITCHSKEWL, and Feel Free 13, where I do my political stuff. My old account, 65,000 followers, was permabanned. I think I understand how to keep it out of permaban This time, if I get close on this account on TikTok, I'll just switch it to private for a while. What ritual means to me? Yeah, that's a big one because I hear it all the time. It's like, what are you going to do for the full moon? What are you going to do for this? What are you going to do for that? I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Ritual does not mean religious rite. It does not mean ceremony. It means something more akin to habit. Your rituals should be habitual. It should be something you automatically do. I don't have to go in and whip up candles and do all this shit. I'm going to see the moon. I'm going to salute the moon. I'm going to commune with the moon like I always fucking do. Your ritual should be habitual. It should be something that you have done so many times that you no longer have to think about doing it. You've released the conscious control of the thing, and you just automatically doing that. And if you reach that stage, then you've reached the optimal stage of ritual. I heard about you from Mind and Magic a while ago on YouTube. I was just talking about it over here on YouTube. Yeah, Frater Xavier's a bro. Trying to get him on my podcast, or our podcast, Wittershins. He's a hard man to get, but if anybody can get Frater Xavier on, I can. I'm one of the few people that know his secret identity. Hey, Power of the Occult, how are you? Happy winter solstice to you, Donna. And were they gonna like let us know when they're coming over or something? Should ask her to like text you, because otherwise I'm gonna have to get up every time the dogs bark. Yes, I get that question myself a lot. A ritual is indeed habitual. All right. Got a bunch of people commenting on some TikTok video I just made. At any rate, there was a TikTok creator, somebody that I know, and I thought we got along. But they posted something about, I've been finding my students on TikTok and stitching their videos and heaping praise upon them, because my students are out there changing the nature of TikTok by having actual magic to teach on TikTok. They're teaching well, all the ones that I've come across. And this person made a comment that they only get to be my kids if they pay me. Now, first of all, over here on YouTube, I've got an entire intro course for free. That is not the only thing. I'm over here on TikTok and YouTube answering random questions about witchcraft and magic for free. Now, before I charged for my teaching, I did 20 years pro bono. I did my time. Now, maybe, once you've been around, doing this for 40 some odd years or so, you can make such decisions. But I gave my free time away, 20 years worth of it, and absolutely have the right to charge for my time now. It is, as one of my students did a video, and I was so fucking proud, the oldest law in witchcraft, the oldest law in magic, the law of exchange. For everything that is taken, this is my left hand for those of you that are mirrored, for everything that is taken, right hand, something must be given. For everything that is taken, something must be given. Now we see this most prominently displayed in herbal magic, in wart cunning, but really it's across the entire spectrum of witchcraft. And we go all the way back to the old vision of the tarot reader or the palm reader. The first thing they say is like, okay, I'm gonna read your palms, but first cross my palms with silver. And if they know their shit, it's the left hand, the receiving hand, that should be crossed in silver. That means, give me something. I'm about to give you something, you give me something. The law of exchange. Expecting people that you don't know to do favors for you for free is a delusional way to live. People should get paid for their time. Now, some of these people, some of these critics that like to throw that shit out, well, they're one step above a fucking living in a cardboard box on Skid Row because they hold such stupid fucking beliefs that we should give away our time for free. Again, I gave away 20 years of my time for free. I was teaching since I was 13 years old, about a week into my intro course, and all of that was free. Eventually went to a sliding scale. People made donations. I remember when Marta over here was taking classes, she donated a bag of mushrooms to me and the other teacher. And it was like the last time that I did mushrooms. So it was like kind of pretty much anything that people wanted to leave. But That time has come and gone. Now I get paid. That's my job. It's my full-time job. I'm going to be like spending my time answering your questions for the next year and a day. You know, you paying for it is not something that shouldn't be expected. It's something that should be expected. Expecting to get something for free is a recipe for failure. There is nothing free. As I've told my son a million times, that's not a free game. You're telling me that's a free game, but then you're going to be asking me to give you Robux every fucking week, and then I'm going to be paying for that fucking thing. So like one of his free games has probably cost me like $1,000 by now. The most expensive fucking video game that I've ever fucking paid for, and it's a free game. Now, if it isn't pay to win, well, you're going to be exploited with advertising. They're going to advertise all over your shit. Yes, no such thing as a free lunch over here on YouTube. Um, uh, and it's my job. And I'm extremely good at it, as you can see. And I should get paid for it. And as such, I do pretty well. I'm working right now. There's people out there taking my classes right fucking now, and then here I am over here doing this with my, you know, what is my spare time. I got taught guitar for free, but people don't respect generosity. Absolutely, absolutely. We have even toyed around with the idea of charging for initiations, which is a grievous sin to a lot of witches out there. But I've found that, as Nietzsche said, the value of a thing oft lies in what you paid for it. You pay trying to get something for free. You go through a lot to try and get something for free. But value in our society has a price tag on it. If you see, you know, two different items and one's, you know, way cheap and one's way expensive, well, you're going to assume that the one that's more expensive is better than the one that's free. And quite often it's true. There's no such thing as a free lunch. I get paid for my time. I do my pro bono work like I'm doing right now. I could be just sitting around with the wife, chilling in the backyard, having a good old time, fucking around on my phone. But instead, I'm live on 2 separate formats teaching witchcraft for free. So I'll probably make a video, not specifically call that person out, but I thought it was a rather funny thing for somebody to throw out. A long time ago, Wiccans used to tell people that you cannot do magic for personal gain. That's a very old belief. I still see people throwing that out there. That's a recipe for poverty. That's a recipe for you never to have enough to help anybody with anything, because again, you're going to be living in a cardboard box on Skid Row. Get yours, and let nobody say you nay. When I first started teaching, when somebody talked me into doing it over on YouTube, I looked up a respected author that I respected, Raven Grimassi. He had a correspondence course with a monthly charge. I looked at what he was charging, and I charged $10 more a month, and it stayed that way since then, because Raven Grimassi was an author. He wasn't a teacher. He wasn't a priest. I am those things, so I charge more than a big name pagan. Authors should write, teachers should teach, priestesses and priests should priestess and priest. Thoughts on Christmas? Christmas is a pagan holiday. I absolutely advocate that pagans should reclaim Christmas, because the belief was that at the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, the sun god died. The sun god died because the sun went down below the horizon and did not rise above the horizon for 3 days. This was seen as the death of the sun god, and then the god lied in his tomb for 3 days and then rose from the dead. Sound familiar? Well, it should sound familiar, because that's where they got that mythos for Jesus. They borrowed it from the sun god. Now, 3 days after the winter solstice tends to be around Christmas time. So Christmas would be the birth of the sun god. It's one of the few times in the wheel of the year that God is dead and removed from the playing field for any amount of time at all. Typically, a pagan god dies and another god immediately takes his place. but not so much with the sun god. So I think we should be celebrating solstice and Christmas, and all of the major holidays were at least two-part holidays back in the day. Anyways, over here, Power of the Occult. Uh, Power of the Occult. One of my students is starting a free class on here next month, but of course I'm not going to be giving out some of the more powerful secrets on there. They will have to wait for a paid class. Yeah, wet their whistle a bit. So you're doing that. You said here, and you're on YouTube. So I'm assuming you're doing that on YouTube. Am I even following you on YouTube? Let me see. Hold on. No, I'm not going to put him in timeout. Power of the Occult. Report remove. And moderator. All right, well, there's no way to follow you from here, but I'm not sure if I'm following you on YouTube yet or not. It was good use for snakeskin, transformation, hexing, these kinds of things, but especially transformation. I have snakeskin in all my transformation potions. Just wanted to pop in, say Merry Meet, Merry Part, Merry Meet again, Happy Holidays, and same to you, Donna. Thanks for jumping in over there. Uncle Birch coming to you live on TikTok and YouTube. Simultaneously, I'm moving the YouTube so I can see how many people are there. All right, we're doing pretty good on each format here. So, literally on two different screens over here. Very low-tech way of multi-broadcasting, but it gives me something to do with my old phone. Hello, all you people on TikTok. If I don't know you, let me know where you're from. Follow if you're not following. Tap the screen a couple times to like it. It's on Christmas. Okay, I already did that. Brimstone Witch, hello. Still Nurse Misty W, hello. We're sending likes, thank you, thank you. Red's Remedies, send me likes. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello. Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans, doing this little thing we call to Ask Uncle Birch. I think that's what it says over here on TikTok. Anyway, if you're not following, follow me because I do my best work live. Hello, you Russian person. If Marta was here, she could read your name to me. Hello, Geocosmic Valentine. Hello, hello. Yeah, Marta stepped out, or I'd have her. She can read Cyrillic. What do you think about people offering food or drugs in your dreams? Those, quite often, those are going to take you to another plane or something like that. I often will accept. However, that's in dreams. If you ever like slip into a fairy realm, the rule there is don't eat or drink anything that they give you, even though it seems like it might be offensive. Keep Rip Van Winkle in mind. Eyes, like my shirt. I do it for the hose. Now, my wife bought me that shirt, so yeah, it might be offensive, but my wife bought me that shirt, so I should get a pass. I need a man's perspective, please. Okay, what? Callie Bailey Ray 6. It's something TikTok universe just happened. Can't see what the shirt says. Oh, over here. I do it for the hose. Oh, it's backwards on YouTube, but still. I'm doing good. Is it? Wait, that's not the question. Somebody needed a man's perspective. I'm waiting for Callie Berry Ray 6. I'm good. I'm good. It's lovely out here today. Nice day in New Orleans. It was butt cold just yesterday, and if I was outside, I was wearing a fucking beanie and several fucking layers. But tomorrow is supposed to be like 74 degrees. Nature's broken. It's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We're coming to you live on YouTube and TikTok. If you missed something or want to see it later, you can go over to YouTube and watch the the rebroadcast. What does it mean when a guy says he loves you and won't commit? Well, that's not an easy answer for this. It's all kinds of various reasons. Um, you know, you'll get to that point. I was polyamorous for years, so I loved plenty of people but didn't commit to them. You know, loved them, had sex with them, that kind of thing. And then shit just changes. One day I decided to be monogamous and asked somebody to marry me. So it changes, but we can't just, you know, answer your question, because all guys are not the same. They have, you know, they're human beings. They have a complex bunch of reasons why they do what they do. Hello, witch, please. Do I think the COVID spell is breaking? No, because we're stupid. We're stupid. We do the same thing every time. We've been doing this for years now. The numbers go down a little bit, and then we drop our guard. We take away the mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, and then we have super spreader events. He only sees me for a hookup and never makes me a priority, but expects me to jump when he says, "Well, that's not okay. Don't do that. You know, have more self-respect for that." And there's plenty of guys that'll say that they love you just to get in your pants and stuff too. However, I wanted to throw the guys under the bus. Like I said, you know, I was polyamorous for 20 years, and a heterosexual pagan male, which is very rare breeds, and, you know, not bad looking, of course. So I kept really busy, let's say. And one thing that I would like to note of that experience is that women are just as full of shit as men are when they want to get laid. They will say, "Oh, I don't have a jealous bone in my body. Oh, I'm totally okay with your polyamory. You know, blah 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 blah. Tell you whatever you whatever you want to hear, and then after you have sex with them, then they want a commitment." And all of a sudden they're jealous and everything else. So I don't know. You know, men are full of shit. Women are full of shit. Everybody's full of shit. Everybody just be honest. Say, "I want to fuck." Well, it'd probably be a whole lot better world. But yeah, I'm not getting the feeling. I'm not getting a love feeling from this person. I'm not trying to do a psychic reading, but I kind of go there. Yeah, don't let them play you. Have some self-respect. Women need to learn. You must be somewhat aloof. They will chase you if you make yourself hard to get. And that most often leads to a commitment more than, you know, just sleeping with them. Well, then, if he's not faithful, you shouldn't be being faithful either. He'll come around, you know, probably when he sees you with another guy. Never underestimate the power of jealousy. Yes. What was the piece of advice that you were learning? What was one piece of advice when you were learning your craft that was a game changer for you? I might have to think about that one. Nothing's coming up.
I can see your brain breaking down.
Can you?
Yeah.
Is it cute? You like when my brain's breaking down?
It's a little labored.
Fire safety definitely changed my life when I finally learned to do it. Thank you so much. I needed to hear all this. Yeah. Yeah, don't, you know, if he's not being faithful, don't be faithful either. You'd be shocked when he thinks you're, you know, when he finds out you're hooking up with somebody else, you'd be shocked how his tune's gonna fucking change. I'm sorry, you know, for all the men that I just fucked up the male mysteries for. Sorry about that. Hello, Turkey, or from Turkey. How the hell are you? I don't know if it's day or night. You want to hear about familiars? Okay. Familiars are not your pets. Okay. If we want to look on how to create a familiar, we're going to have to go to ceremonial magic. And in the realm of ceremonial magic, the creation of a familiar is achieved through torture. We torture that spirit into making a pact with us to do our bidding, with a whole assortment of torture devices, barbaric names, you name it. I don't think you want to do that to your cat. Okay. Now, witches have always had an affinity with animals and a connection with their animals beyond the norm. Um, and that probably led to this idea. But this idea that all witches have a familiar comes from the Inquisition. It comes from the church. It is their invention that every witch must have a familiar, because the so like a witch mark must have a witch mark, must have a familiar, must have this, that, and the other. They couldn't convict you until you had this, that, and until you had those things. Now anything could be construed a witch mark, and any animal that you possessed became a familiar. Even some people, a cow, a pig was their familiar. Um, this is an idea that was come up with by the church and hoist upon us. We don't all have familiars that are our pets. However, during the times of persecution, one little paragraph in the Malleus Maleficarum, the witch hunting manual, the hammer of witches, talks about that witches have a special relationship with animals. They speak to them and treat them as equals. This has always been true. This has always been the way with the people that we call the witch from the dawn of time, and maybe that played into it. I've often said, back when we were in West Hollywood, me and Marta were dog sitters on Rover. And we, one time we had like 14 dogs, a fucking pack of dogs running through the house. And I often said that it was not fair to our competitors, because we're witches and we have a relationship with these animals that's beyond the norm. And I shit you not, dogs didn't want to go home. Dogs dragged their owners to our door and then just ran inside, and leaving their owners standing there, wanting to say goodbye. And I literally sometimes had to drag the dogs out of the fucking house to get them to go home, because we were witches. And we were probably, some of the top sitters on the fucking Rover app in that area at the time because of that. Now, servitor's different. Ask them, oh, you can't see it on YouTube, so Samantha said, what about servitors? Because no, I only want to love my kitties, lol. Yeah, a servitor is an artificially created spirit, created by you. It has that's why service is in the name. They have no existence beyond you. You're not enslaving a thing that had an existence before that. Um, let's see, I can't wait to take your class. Yes, my next class is coming up at gumroad.com/witch school, WITCHSKEWL. Somebody type that on there for me. Type it over here if you can. What you need to do is now you need to go over there and make an account at gumroad.com/witch school, WITCHSKEWL. Make an account, follow me. The class will not launch until January 1st, and it will say level 1 January 2022. We want to make sure and sign up for the right class. um, happens every time, because I have so many classes up there and I tend to leave them up for about a year, because my students, they take it at their own pace, and so I'll leave the classes up there, and every time people are confused. You can go poke around to only 2 months left in your year and a day classes. Cool. And you're on TikTok, Kristen B. Tag me in something. I want to see what you're doing on TikTok. Many of my students are rocking the TikTok world, and I'm impressed. So tag me in something so I remember your page. I've been trying to figure out who all are my students on TikTok. They have different names and stuff than I know them by, but they're doing good stuff over there. So follow me at Gumroad, and when the class is launched, you'll get a notification. Then you just go over there and click. You can look at the other year in a day classes and see the basic stuff that I'm teaching. In each class, it's $35 a month for a year. It's automatically deducted. You take the classes at your own speed. I have not yet done classes on Zoom. I probably should, because I got to repay for that for another year soon. I need to make Zoom pay for itself. But in these classes, the witch school classes, I have students all over the world, and I just can't get them on the same time scale to do that. I don't really post craft or spiritual life on here, but I have pet snails. I want to see the pet snails. Is it okay to have two familiars? And type them for specific things. Okay, Bilga, okay, I'm gonna say it again, because I don't think we got the message over here on YouTube. A familiar is not your pet, your cat, your guinea pig. It's not a familiar. You can have a special bond with your animals, which is do that. The process of creating a familiar is done through torture. We capture a spirit in a triangle of arts and torture it with many devices and barbaric names of God and force it into signing a pact to do our bidding. I don't think you want to do that with your guinea pig. You can have a special and spiritual bond with your guinea pig. I don't think you want to enslave them. Damn Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yes. Well, again, I think it's during the burning times, during the times of persecution, the Christian church came up with that idea that all witches must have a familiar, and if you didn't have a familiar, it made it pretty hard for them to convict you. So any animal you possessed, they said was your familiar. Any mark on your body, they said was the witch mark, and then they could, kill you. Ooh, thanks for the likes. Salem was in prison on Sabrina. I think I saw Sabrina one time. Marta loves the meme of Salem stirring the cauldron.
Is that Salem?
That's Salem. See, I know enough to know that that's Salem.
And then there's one where the black cat's filing his nails.
Yep, that's the same one.
Okay, Shannon's leaving. Ellie and Ed's now on the way to us.
Okay. No, I'm not on Patreon yet. You can only post really small videos there, so I really haven't found a use for Patreon. Do you find that witches cross the line working with a deity to worship of a deity? Do I find that witches cross the line of working with a deity to worshiping a deity? I find different kinds. So some people are worshiping and some people are working with it. One book about familiars definitely need to read is The Cunning Folk of Familiar Spirits, Shamanic Visionary Traditions. Early modern Emma Wilby. Okay, I don't know Emma. Oh, hey, King Tut Amun Ra. Haven't seen you in a while. In Sabrina's defense, she cast a spell for a volunteer familiar. Okay. If there's such a spell. That not on Sabrina, maybe that would be cool. In that, the process of creating a familiar always involves feeding them your blood. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yo, bro, back at you. How are you? Yeah, he wasn't a witch. He tried to take over the world. So he had to serve a witch family for 500 years. What's wrong with trying to take over the world and shit? I do not work with gods. They just hook me up. That's a different way. Witch fiction. I have 3 familiars. Animal helper is different than familiar. Spider each associated with witchcraft in the underworld. Again, witches historically have had a connection with animals beyond the norm. Yeah. Apparently the council, The Witches Council frowned upon. Apparently somebody, maybe that's you over there on TikTok, somebody's just seen my video on the American Council of Witches. That's been an attempt that several people have tried to start over the years, but witches, for lack of a better word, and most of them wouldn't like the word, but they're anarchists. They don't want any authority figures over them. We've not had an American Council of Witches that could do anything since 1974. And that's probably because in 1974 we didn't have an internet, not everybody knew about it, so they weren't able to, voice their opposition to the American Council of Witches. Oh, is this the beginning of Familiar Gate? Yes. I would say, don't be a cheap ass motherfucker with your familiar. Buy him some fucking fancy feast, bitch. Running craft, I found witchcraft isn't Hollywood, but hey, I'm just beginning. I know, but Hollywood, the Christians would say that we have controlled Hollywood for some time, and there might be something to that. It tends to be a field that there's a lot of witches in, and people have had to accurately portray witchcraft in their films since the 80s, because witches are organized and will jump all over their shit. Still, American Horror Story Covenant is still a great show, even though it's not that accurate. However, those of you that know what I'm talking about, that thing where Fiona Horn spits into a glass of water and then has somebody drink it, that's real. Doesn't work exactly that drastically because Hollywood has to, drastically portray things, but that spit magic is a thing. Welling your will up onto the tip of your tongue and then spitting on something, spitting into something, it works, and it can affect somebody that drinks it too. The more I do my habitual on the full moon, my moon blood becomes regular again. Yes, I mean, traditionally women should be all bleeding at the new moon. I have lived with hippies off the grid, and all of the women on the commune had their moon cycle at the new moon. One of the things that throws off that cycle is the electricity in our walls, the electromagnetic field that surrounds us. Is a witch born or make herself a witch? What do you think about that? I believe there's a gene. Everybody has the witch gene in their genetic makeup, and some people it's switched on at birth, some people it switches on later. I'm Uncle Birch. I teach he's type about hippies. I teach hippies for a living. No, I teach witchcraft for a living, and as I always say, I can teach you witchcraft, but I cannot make you a witch. That depends on what you do with what I taught you that will either make you a witch or not. Anyways, gotta go. Oh, like you have something important to do, Power of the Occult. All right, have a good day. I'm a master manifester now. Oh, fancy. Hashtag fancy feast. Yeah, somebody's gonna like screenshot that part of my live, and now we're gonna have fancy feast gate. Marta over here, she wants to get a Savannah cat. It's kind of a wild cat, very large, and you gotta feed them raw chicken. You can't. Eventually, you can feed them kibble, but for a long time, you got to feed them raw chicken. So even better than fancy feast, man. They love that shit. And they're so cute when they grab the raw chicken.
And then they push the person away.
They push the person away, and then they run off in the other room to eat it. Oh my God, me too. They are the best. Yes, sir. Okay. I'm probably not a witch, but I do a lot of spells. Well, that's kind of how you become a witch. You keep doing that, and then pretty soon, that's what you do for everything. If you're, you run into a problem in the world, and to address that problem, you find yourself at your altar manipulating inanimate objects around, well, you're probably a witch. Ooh, Savannah cats are fascinating. Yeah, they are pretty cool. I just, is it in the budget to, buy a raw fucking chicken? How many do they eat? Like one a day, or?
I don't know. We can also
Yeah.
give them like ground chicken. It doesn't
Ground
have
chicken.
to be like a whole chicken drumstick.
Hmm.
But the main thing is we won't be able to go outside. They can jump over our fences. So
All
we'll have-
cats can jump over fences.
Yeah, but it will do it
Yeah.
and leave.
I don't think it'll run away.
You know?
Cats do that. Cats are sluts. Like they might, visit the other neighbors and stuff. Harass the other neighbors' cats. But it knows where the food is. It knows where its family is, and it'll come home. I've had cats that have disappeared for like a month at a time.
Yeah.
Like an indoor cat. Once they finally get out, they go, "Oh fuck that!" And they're gone for like a month. They come back.
Yeah, but this
man.
one will get stolen if it's a Savannah cat.
And we'll teach you to be mean.
Okay.
Orange, green, turquoise, blue, pink. Okay, King Tut. I don't know what you're on about over there. I want to let my black cat roam. Yes. I spent my entire witchcraft life trying to get a black cat. And every time I went to get a black cat, I always came home with a tabby. I always fell in love with a tabby and brought it home. But then one day, there was somebody doing feral rescue through my shop, and I relieved them for a lunch break, and there was this tub with air holes in it that kept moving around. And I opened it up. They didn't tell me what it was. I opened it up, and all these kittens come bounding out all over the fucking witch store. And I fell in love with this little black cat. And he's fucking old. He's fucking old.
Who?
Sabo.
Yeah, he's like 16 or 17.
Yeah, and he's doing good. He's doing good. Cats should live inside. Yeah, they should live inside, but they like to wander too. Our cat, Sabo, he doesn't tend to climb much stuff unless he's being chased by a dog or something like that. So when he comes out, he kind of just hangs out under the house. I imagine there's a whole ecosystem under there that keeps him entertained. King Tut over here gets stalked by black cats. The color is healing. Cats are rather healing. Cats have their fur is a energy receptor. I don't think dogs have that same kind of fur. So cats are ready to do fucking witchcraft on day one. Every one of them. And you just caught Uncle Birch using an absolute. So if he uses an absolute, it's absolutely true. I do not believe in coincidences, no. Did you see Frederick Xavier with your own eyes? I always see him. Yeah, I've never met him in person.
Oh, Shannon's outside.
Okay, I gotta go let somebody in, and I guess I'm still gonna talk to you guys in the background. knock it? They're not out here. It was the front door, you freak. Oh, anyway. All right, I'm back. Oh, look at you guys are so patient. Yeah, somebody came and brought us cookies. Enjoy your evening. Oh, King Tut. Bye, King Tut. Drain. Okay. Oh, you guys are talking back and
Now
forth.
what? Scared him off.
Yeah.
Now what? You think I'm gonna give you a cookie?
Do you personally eat and drink the offerings? No. I leave them out. Eventually, I put them outside and let like animals and critters get them, that kind of thing. You know, if they're the type of stuff that animals and critters should be eating. Tagged you in a post making fun of if this is on your page right now. Okay, cool. I'll look for that. Compost your offerings. That's good. Compost. Compost magic is very useful. Anything that produces heat is useful. Compost produces heat. It's part of the reason that a witch's bottle is so powerful. A witch's bottle, you know, tends to have rusting nails and shit in it, and rust never sleeps. It produces heat. Laws of physics say where you have heat, you have energy. So a witch's bottle is kind of like a magical battery that produces its own magic over the years. And as long as it keeps rusting, it keeps producing magic. They found witches' bottles hundreds of years old, still rusting. Oh, power of the occult's back. See, I knew you didn't have anything important to do. Do you believe that meditation is vital to the practice of witchcraft? Yes. Relaxation, concentration, projection. The three keys of magic. The concentration portion, that's meditation, that kind of thing. Is it fine to bury leftover wax? No, I wouldn't bury leftover wax. Burn it up. Burn it up. Make yourself a little fire. Or I used to, when I didn't have a fire pit, I had one little like old barbecue that I used for that specifically for burning up the wax. Burn it up till there's nothing left. You know, if you have a fire pit, it's great. Wax is great for starting a fire too. We used to, in my shop, there was altars everywhere, and people would one of the main altars, they would like make little petitions, little prayers, and they put them in this bottle, and the bottle would sit on the altar and get the energy of all of the people that went to the altar all the time that it was there. And then we would save up the wax drippings from the altars and in little bags called moon wax. And then when we had the full moon ritual, we'd take the moon wax down to the beach, burn the leftover pieces of all of those people's prayers, and then throw their petitions into the fire. So the wax totally burned up, and it helped us get the fire started in the first place. So useful stuff. Technically at work. Well, good. Thank you for slacking off with this power of the occult. Uncle Birch, coming to you live from New Orleans on YouTube and TikTok simultaneously. Two separate screens, so I'll be looking back and forth. But yeah, wax, I would burn it up. I mean, wax is a petroleum product, so it did come from the earth once upon a time, but not in that form, and that form is not good for the soil. So I put wax and salt on the corner of my property where it will run into the sewer. Interesting. And Jen's at work too. Oh, thank you for slacking off with us, Jen. We'll be coming to you from Marta's phone for I think the next two Stay the Fuck at Home shows on Facebook, because I'm in Facebook jail. I mean, actually, it's Facebook prison. Longest stint in Facebook prison yet. They've got like 13, I think 13 more days.
Something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Because I said that David Griffin's wife was fugly. All right, I'll die on that hill. Not physically on the outside, she's fugly through and through for being David Griffin's wife. Because David Griffin is fugly all the way to his soul.
And you weren't even the
you
one
can
to
look up.
bring it up.
I
You
know.
were just responding to somebody else's
And,
post.
and I was actually responding to a post that was 2 years old. Oh God, stop it, get off my fucking thing. All right, hopefully that didn't make me, hopefully you can still hear me. Sometimes that fucks with the audio. Holy cow, that's a serious stunt. Lost connection. Now I got the connection back. All right. Let's see what's happening on YouTube. Yes, I'm a Facebook felon, absolutely. I definitely had more than 3 strikes. Hello, Moon and Pinnacle. I don't think I know where you're from. Where are you from? Coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. My next class is going to be starting January 1st. You can find it at gumroad.com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL. However, the class will not exist until January 1st. So you want to follow me at gumroad.com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL. And when I launch the class, I send out a notification to everybody that's following me. Classes are good. You should take them. Yes, you should. My God. And slowly but surely, during Candlegate, over on TikTok, this silly little twit was going on and on about Uncle Birch is trying to take over witchcraft. Fucking B. I never said anything about taking over witchcraft. I may have made reference to my students going to take over TikTok, or at least Witch Talk and Witches of TikTok. I may have said that because I'm an arrogant motherfucker. Yeah, I think I said that, and it's fucking true. And it needs to happen. I have maybe Kristen's class. I don't remember how long. It seems like it's been that long, but I have about 50 TikTok witches in my class. There was one class that I didn't advertise on YouTube or anywhere else. I just advertised it on TikTok one time, and I ended up with just TikTok witches in that class. And a lot of my students are out there on TikTok teaching already. And like I always say, my students know more than your students after a week or 2. It ain't bragging if it's true. And that's what TikTok needs. Actual witches that know what the fuck they're talking about, teaching shit. That's my kids so far. I'm looking over here on YouTube, haven't missed anything. Please say the address one more time. gumroad.com/witchschool. WITCHSKEWL. If you're on TikTok, you just hit my profile and it should say that address right under my name. I think that's the only thing that I have there. Do I have that? Yes, that and Teacher of the Dark Arts is, I think, all it says in my profile. I'm making a link tree. I figured out, I think, how to do that. So I'll do a link tree and post that up there at one of these points. You're welcome. In my classes, they're taken at your own speed. You can do them on your phone. There's some, PDFs and stuff. I think you can even look at those on your phone. But it's I have students from 7 years ago that just suddenly decided to start turning in homework. I had to actually get out the class roles, find who those people are. Yes, the level 1 class is for beginners. It is. I have 5 level 1s going right now, and I think 2 or 3 level 2s. And then, if you go over to gumroad.com/witchschool, there's a bunch of other classes you can take that are already there. You just want to stay away from a witch school that has a date on it, or a month, or a year. The class that's coming out will be level 1, January 2022. I don't think I have a January 2021, so hopefully there won't be a lot of confusion on that one. But they're usually is confusion every time I start a class, because my old classes are still up because I'm trying to give my students time to do that. So I tend to leave a class up for about a year, give them time to do that, and then I take it down because it's too confusing to leave it up. Thank you for actually explaining things. Oh, well, you're welcome. That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm gonna check it out now. Have a nice day. Blessed be up. Blessed be to you. Decent crowds on both platforms. Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. I'm on TikTok and YouTube simultaneously, so if there's something you miss on the TikTok version, you can always go over to Uncle Birch on YouTube and watch the full broadcast again. Gryffindor Sue, hey, how are you? Where are you? I don't know you. I always like to hear where people are from. Yeah, if you're not following, be sure and follow me. Also, TikTok over here, you've got to go to the people you're following, and there's a little bell icon. You got to hit on the bell icon and set it up to receive notifications every time that person goes live, because I do my best work live, and TikTok set it up to where you got to manually set that up, or they won't tell you when somebody's going live. Do you go to the Dragon's Den? I feel like I've seen you there. No. Where is that? The Dragon's Den. Is that in New Orleans? I've never heard of that one. Your statement of intent on YouTube has helped me so much since I watched it. Oh, cool. And you know, I teach an unknown piece of witchcraft history in the statement of intent video on YouTube. So you should check that out. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, live in the South now. Okay. Hey, Arizona and New Orleans. Okay, so the Dragon's Den. You look that up when you got a chance, huh?
I'm sorry?
The Dragon's Den. It's in New Orleans, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't been there yet, but it sounds like the kind of place on Esplanade. Really?
Oh, you know what?
I drive Esplanade every day.
You know what? The last time we drove by, I looked to my right, and I think I did see something called the Dragon's Den.
Huh.
But I'm gonna check. Like when we're on our way to the quarter, I think we pass it.
Yeah, I do Esplanade all the way up. That's where my kids'
Yeah,
school is.
I did notice it one time.
Esplanade, you got a cross street? What's up? Hey, Texas. How the hell are you, Logan Wolf? I'm coming to you live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Now you have both places. Yes. Well, we tend to go to potions a lot. I think we recently finally made it to the dungeon. Hadn't been there before.
Yeah,
New
it's
York
on the
City.
way when we go to the quarter. It's on Esplanade and Decatur.
Esplanade and Decatur.
It's on the right-hand side. I saw it the other day.
I'll look. You know, the kid's out of school for a couple weeks, but I'll look next time I go that way. I will check out your classes.
I think it's the place we
Take a
saw a
while to
sign
vet
where it said
teachers.
live music, but we didn't hear any music. Remember that? We said something. It said
No,
live
that's
music.
Checkpoint Charlie. That's the one I said that where it says like music club,
yeah,
and there's
yeah,
never
yeah,
actually
okay.
any live music
The
coming from
Dragon's
there.
Den though is I've definitely seen it. We haven't been there though.
Authentic Mystic. Okay, yeah, you should do. Absolutely, you should do that. Just you can Google me. Google Uncle Birch. I'm the one that will come up. All of my classes and experience, 40 plus years teaching witchcraft. Pretty rare find, I think. Misty Wallace, you're from Southwest Missouri. Hey, over there on YouTube. Attitude Caffeinated sent me likes. There's one of my kids again. Did I do you? I think I did a video on you. I need to check and see if I did Attitude Caffeinated. I've been finding my students on TikTok and trolling them and stitching them and heaping praise on them. Yeah, I think, a place called the Dragon's Den, I think we definitely have to check out. I mean, there's so many places we haven't been yet.
They have live music.
Okay.
So it's not a restaurant, but it's a live music
Bar.
place. Look, hears it from the out. Yeah, I think I have seen this.
Oh,
It's on the right when we're driving in the
yeah.
quarter. It's on the right.
I have seen that
Yeah.
place. Okay, I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, let's check that out. Um, do I have a specialty, specific area of study? God, witchcraft, hoodoo, ceremonial magic, um, uh, chaos magic. You know, I've taken chaos magic. I've taken some of the things that they think that they came up with in chaos magic, moved them back into witchcraft, which is where the ideas originally came from. Um, it turns out that the witchcraft that I've been studying and practicing for 40 plus years, the majority of it is a hybrid hoodoo. It's a hoodoo that also adheres to magical timing, planetary timing, lunar timing, that kind of thing, which is not typically done in hoodoo. But back then we didn't know a hoodoo from a doo-doo. Now we know. So that's why I will not take any shit from anybody about my skin color. For practicing hoodoo, I've been practicing my whole goddamn life, and most people that give me shit, I get to say, well, you know, I've been practicing hoodoo longer than you've been a sperm. Oh gods, I just saw a witch wearing a shirt that says "Witches be shopping at the dollar store." Hey, that should be my.
Yeah.
I need a merch page.
So the Dragon's Den is a 20-minute walk or a 5-minute drive from us.
Okay, 20-minute walk. Well, you know, for drunk on the way home, it's gonna be a longer walk. You know.
Well, you have to carry me.
I have a draft waiting in the wings. I'm nervous to post because I'm still in the closet. Wait. Attitude caffeinated's in the closet? Really? How can you be in the closet and be on TikTok? How are you going to do that? Misty Wallace is laughing over here. I need to find a medicine man. Good luck. I was born in the South. Some traditions were passed down. Yes. Well, in the big debate that constantly goes on, only on TikTok has anybody ever said that hoodoo is a closed practice. Okay, that's a TikTok thing. Nobody else anywhere has ever said that unless they heard it on TikTok. And it's not true. You can't have a closed practice without an initiation process. There's no initiations in hoodoo, so it's not a closed practice. It's a fucking folk magic. But then there's Southern Conjure. And I really would like to see some people discuss that at some point, because Southern Conjure, while we tend to use conjure and hoodoo interchangeably, Southern Conjure was quite often practiced by a bunch of white trash motherfuckers. For lack of a better word. Conjure is a lot more malleable than hoodoo. Hoodoo, we got to say it's African American folk magic, not necessarily conjure. It's not that easy to say that about conjure. Appalachian conjure, absolutely. Broom closet, conservative family. It should just bite. Yeah, you should just bite the bullet. You know, they're not going to change. You know, just don't talk to them. Don't tell them. You know, I am fully aware that my father, who's still alive, knows what I'm doing, but we've never had that discussion. Way back when they kept burning my books and shit, when I was a kid, you know, that discussion came up. But he knows what I'm doing. My uncle, the former CIA agent, is all up in my shit. He knows everything.
He's all up in my shit.
Yeah, he knows everything that I ever fucking do online, and I'm sure he's mentioned it to his brother. But we're just not going to talk about that. I mean, not like me and my father talk. With a familiar in their purses. They're shopping at the dollar store with their familiar in their purses. I'm sure the dogs are barking about absolutely nothing. I'm set. I got all my Christmas stuff has arrived.
I'm not expecting anything.
Not waiting for
either.
anything.
Me neither.
I have a huge award hanging from my rear view. I think the locals know. Well, now remember, the guy, Dante Wright, I think. The guy that got shot by the cop
I think it's Dante Wright.
that was going for her taser.
Yeah.
They pulled him over for something hanging from his rearview mirror.
And she said she wouldn't have even pulled him over for that, but she was doing a training with
Yeah.
the newer officer. So she just pulled him over so the newer officer can see what to do. She
Guess.
wouldn't have even pulled him
Yeah.
over if she wasn't training.
Guess that was a mistake, huh? Rockin' Robin 111. I'm doing good. How are you? Coming to you live from New Orleans. It's a lovely day outside today. My family doesn't approve, just doesn't talk to me anymore, and it's so nice. Well, Jen, every time I see you and think of where you live, I just wonder how a person like you survives there. And I know it's not easy, but yeah, as soon as you can get out of there, get the fuck out, man. I think hoodoo has become the new. My grandmom was a witch
Yeah.
and taught me the craft. Yeah, we've got was somebody that used to be a rainy day in California. Really, that's rare. Um, we have a former friend here in New Orleans that has a hoodoo shop, and he recently has been, talking about his hoodoo grandmother. And we know he never had a hoodoo grandmother, so that's matter of fact, Marta made a meme once upon a time. One of the dogs we were watching, and the face that they gave when somebody talked about their hoodoo grandmother. I ain't met anybody with a hoodoo grandmother yet. I'm getting to the point in my practice where it's time for balance. Been a fluffy bunny. Oh, okay. Well, you might want to take my class because there's no fluffy bunny shit there. I am also Strega. The rule there is never harm the innocent. The Wiccans will never reach the reed. A human being cannot be free of harm. A human being will never not cause harm. It's never going to happen. The Wiccans have set a very high bar that they're never going to reach. And then, most Wiccans don't understand the magic of linguistics. When we're writing a spell, or a spell is going to be written, spoken, that kind of thing, certain rules: rhythm, rhyme, repetition, no negatives. No negatives. We can't use not, nor, neither, take away. Any of those words are not recognized by the subconscious portion of our mind from which the witchcraft comes. So, with that rule in place that the Wiccans seem to have overlooked, but all of our ancestors once knew, when a Wiccan puts their fine print into their spell that says, and it harm none, so mote it be, in their spell. They always put that at the bottom just to make sure that they're not accidentally harming somebody. But with the rule of linguistics that I have just stated, the subconscious mind does not recognize the word none. None is a negative. The subconscious mind from which witchcraft springs deletes the negative. It doesn't understand the negative, cannot comprehend the negative. So when a Wiccan says, and it harm none, so mote it be, what they're saying in the magical verse, and it harm, so mote it be. So, problem with Wiccans in their lack of studiousness, I guess. But back in my day, back in the 80s, even the Wiccans knew all of these magical laws. In authentic British traditional Wicca, it's actually cause no harm, but take no shit. The reed became overblown in Neo-Wicca. But still, you've got no, so it'd be cause harm and take shit. See, it's not going to work. Not going to work. The universe doesn't care if you use the words improperly. It's going to operate under what it knows of those words. It cares not for your intent. But over here, let me take this further for Witch Please. We know the texts that Gerald Gardner studied all of the different texts that Gerald Gardner studied and incorporated into his Wicca. When he created Wicca, he borrowed from everywhere. It would be probably best to call Gardner eclectic, because he borrowed shit from all over the place to patch into his creation. One of the places that we know that he studied quite extensively was Charles Leland's Aradia, Gospel of the Witches, or Aradia, however you want to say her name. The Queen of All Witchery's book, probably the oldest book that we have on this type of witchcraft, is that book. Good things and bad things in that book. Scholarly and total crap in that book. You've got to sift through it. But one of the things that we know, Gardner studied that book, and one of the things that it says in that book, when Aradia arrives to free the witches of Tuscany from the slavery of the Catholic Church, one of the things she says right before she departs in the charge of Aradia is, when a priest shall have done you harm, you shall cause him 3 times the harm, and do it in the name of me, who am Queen of all witchery. Now, when we have a very specific way of wording a thing that we find in 2 different sources, we can usually attribute that to its original source. So we know that Gardner read that. We know Gardner read those lines, but then Gardner twists it around to become his threefold law. The threefold law originally, as it was taught in the books that Gardner studied, was a threefold law of retribution against those who had harmed you. You shall cause them 3 times the harm. Very specific linguistics going on there. So we know that that's where Gardner got his idea, but Gardner took it a very different way than it was originally stated. How do you facilitate the classes? Is it Zoom-based? No. I've not. I will probably do some classes on Zoom eventually, but the witch school classes are worldwide. I have students in every known time zone on the fucking planet. I can't get them together on Zoom. So the witch school classes are pre-recorded. You can watch them on your phone. You can watch them on your laptop. Some people watch them on their big screen TV. There's some PDFs that go along with those. You can read those in your phone too. It's taken entirely at your own speed. Like I was saying earlier, I have students from 7 years ago when I originally launched the course on YouTube over here. It's a private channel. You can't see it if you were not a student, but there's another secret channel over here on YouTube where that still exists. I have students from like 7 years ago that all of a sudden started turning in homework. And I had to, like, look up, back in the day, I used to physically write down the students on paper. I'd find those books, look those people up, and determine whether or not they were my students in the first place. But 7 years, they didn't turn in homework, and still that's acceptable. So when I say take it at your own speed, I mean it. The course materials are great. Yes, there's a few out-of-print books on PDF that I give you with the course. There's a spot for student discussion. Yeah, well, mostly the students, contact me in email. But then if you are in my classes on Facebook, there's 2 pages called Witch School. There's one that's just called Witch School, and you have to, apply for membership. And there's one that's Witch School Courses in the Old Ways, where I post, the classes that are coming up. But Witch School, the one that you have to join, is my students. And it's students from years ago now. So we have students, in level 1, level 2, students that have already graduated from all the different levels, interacting with each other and teaching each other, basically, on Facebook. So if you are one of my students and you didn't get that memo, find Witch School, WITCHSKEWL, on Facebook. Apply to join and tell me which class you're in, and then you get to hang out with all, years worth of my students over there. Let's see over here on YouTube. Did I miss anything? No, I did not. Even in Denmark, yes. See, I got students over there in Denmark. You know, it's really, really hard. I mean, I did teach a class one time that Sigrid over here was taking. I think it was like 8 o'clock at night. It might have been WitchCon or a class that I was teaching at the Hex Education Network, where it was like 3 in the morning for Sigrid over here in Denmark. But there she was, taking the fucking class. Thank you for answering my endless questions. That's what I do. That's what I do. We do this Ask Uncle Birch thing. I answer random questions from people all over the internet about witchcraft. So anybody that says I just do it for the money hasn't been paying attention. Dad Witch Voodoo joined. When did you leave? Oh, I think they just passed the verdict on that cop that went for a taser.
What did they say?
Guilty on 2 counts of manslaughter. Just popped up.
I think she was only charged with 2 counts.
Yeah, so maybe she was found guilty on both of those. Hey, Hoodoo Mama, how are you? Yeah, I saw your video. I don't know. People don't tend to come at Uncle Birch too often with that, you know, you're the wrong skin color to practice hoodoo thing that you apparently have been getting called on. Maybe because I'm a hardcore motherfucker and I'll get up in your grill. Maybe because I've been practicing hoodoo longer than they've been a sperm. That tends to piss people off when I say that to them, but it's true. I don't play that shit. Hoodoo is an African American folk magic. You notice I didn't say African folk magic because while the roots may have come from Africa, most of the shit that they would use in Africa doesn't grow here, is not here. And it's especially, you know, not in the slave portions of the United States where a lot of that stuff existed. Hoodoo Brujo, hey, you're probably at work too, slacking off. It's not that simple. It's a folk magic practiced by African Americans, but it's a folk magic that came about here in the United States. So it incorporates a lot of other ideas. Within hoodoo, I have found pieces of Irish folk magic, Italian folk magic. You know, all of the immigrants that were over here mixed in there. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But what I always say, respect. It's all about respect. If you're practicing a practice that comes from other ancestors, have respect for those ancestors. Brujeria is also hoodoo, or is also in hoodoo. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Hoodoo absorbs everything else that's around it. A thing that nobody else wants to fucking talk about, because I don't know. If you acknowledge the suffering of your ancestors, some people seem to think that it takes away from their ancestors. Now, this colonization thing that happened in the United States, well, that happened to my ancestors too. My Irish ancestors, my Scottish ancestors, my Welsh ancestors, they all got colonized by them same fucking people. And the techniques that they learned in Ireland and Scotland and Wales were then used against the Native Americans when they came over here. One of the things that's classic is beating a student for speaking their native tongue. Irish students were not allowed to speak Irish. Scottish students were not allowed to speak Irish or Scottish, and Welsh students were not allowed to speak Welsh, and they would be beaten in front of the other students if they uttered a word in their native tongue. This is how you break the connection with their ancestors. This is the same thing they did to the Native Americans here. So they perfected it at home before they went abroad. But another thing that happens here in the United States, we got your chattel slaves, we got your serfs, your peasant class, we got your indentured servants, these kind of people. First of all, most of those people didn't have slaves. Um, Second of all, they were treated as a lower class. The Irish were not considered white when they came here, neither were the Italians. And the Irish, now, I'm not giving the Irish a pass because how the Irish became white was by embracing racism. That's how the Irish became white. They were considered, in several texts in Congress, they were said to be lower than the Negroes. That was the words when they first came here. So, whatever happens, eventually the Irish become racist, and that's how they become white. But whatever the case, the slaves, the peasants, the indentured servants lived in what we would now call ghettos. Now you got your nobles. They're living up on a hill somewhere over here. Over here. All these other lower class of varying levels of low class existed in the same areas. They came up with the same ideas. This extends to when we get to like New York and the ghettos there. Every little race has their own ghetto, but the ghettos are all next door to the other people's ghettos. As such, these people exchanged ideas pretty fucking readily. That's why we get all of these different folk magics in that folk magic. You know, you can't own a thing that incorporates other people's things, basically. But that's something nobody ever wants to talk about. Because if I talk about the Irish coming over here as indentured servants, people are going to go, well, that's not the same as chattel slavery. It's like, I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was. But it's another example of the rich ruling the poor. Here in New Orleans, I got in an argument one time. Somebody was talking about gentrification. And I said, yeah, I got gentrified out of an entire fucking city, Santa Cruz, California, man. They gentrified the fuck out of that fucking place, and I couldn't. And then West Hollywood too. Gentrification is not a race-specific thing. And what I said to this person when they were arguing with me, I said, you need to look up the origins of that word. The origins of that word, it's a French word. And it referred to the landed gentry and those that didn't have land. So the gentry were a higher class than those who didn't have land, and they would gentrify an area to where only the people that own land could fucking live there. So it is a rich poor thing, and this is the thing that nobody's ever gonna get because we're all locked up about fucking skin color and shit. Class war has always been the case. Race war isn't really happening. Class war has always been happening. Nobody's ever gonna see it because we're all hung up on race. Now, what happens is that black communities are kept in poverty so gentrification can happen. But that doesn't make it a purely black experience, gentrification. This happens to all lower class people. But it does, what happens is they make sure that they keep the black people poor so they can gentrify them. And in that context, then it's a race specific thing that's going on. But, my white ass has been gentrified plenty of fucking times, man. It fucking happens. You just can't live where you used to fucking live anymore. And I'm not taking away anything from anybody, but trying to get somebody to recognize the class war that's been pulled over their fucking eyes the whole time. And we're over here going back and forth arguing about race and shit, scrambling for fucking breadcrumbs on the fucking floor, man. I don't want breadcrumbs, I want the fucking cake. I want the whole fucking cake, man. But the rich keep all of the poor classes fighting amongst themselves. This has always been the way. So now we have the different races fighting amongst themselves. If I acknowledge that my Italian witch ancestors called upon the goddess Diana to send her daughter down to deliver them from the slavery of the Catholic Church, well, then I catch a whole bunch of shit. Because now I've acknowledged that other people were enslaved too. Acknowledging that other people were enslaved does not take away from anybody else. For me not to acknowledge the suffering of my ancestors at the hands of the Catholic Church is an offense to them, all of my ancestors. So I recognize all of my ancestors now. I have, like most people, I've got some African in my DNA. For me not to respect those ancestors would be a grievous sin. Yet some practitioners out here, they want to play the race card so much, they want to give people like Hoodoo Mama over here shit for honoring those ancestors. I, I should not say I honor all my ancestors. I have not really given much honor to my Nordic ancestors yet, and I have them, and I probably should. Um, but I've been waiting for them to get past their Nazi shit before I fucking do that. But I do honor my African ancestors too, and anybody that says that I shouldn't, well, they've got something wrong in their heart. It's absolutely, it's always been a class situation, and these people, these upper class people, rule us, and they keep us all fighting with each other down here in the fucking trenches over fucking breadcrumbs. I want to climb the hill and get the fucking cake, is what I want. And that I will march up that hill with black people, brown people, red people, yellow people. I don't fucking care if you're fucking poor and oppressed by the fucking rich class. Just fucking march up that hill and get us some fucking cake. Yes, Your Honor. So how should I venerate my land and work with the land spirits here? I would do divination to come into contact with the spirits that live on the land and get to know them first. Um, Make offerings to them, and even if you don't have their names, then eventually you know you'll get to know their names. Don't wait for that. Those guys are usurpers. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Let's see, I'm neglecting YouTube over here. I haven't looked in a while. I was reading an article about South African folk magic, and you can absolutely see some cases how they'd use an American plant. Exactly. Um, Now, to do that, they had to talk to people living in America. They may have got that knowledge from the natives. They may have got that from the Irish, the Italians, the Norwegians, the Danes, who knows. But yeah, they had to learn the local plants. Downtown Des Moines was totally gentrified in the early 2000s. And so the artists and gay community that made its destination. Um, that's why I'm a communist. Yes. Santa Cruz, when I first moved to Santa Cruz, was hippies. Hippies were the dominant population to the extent where the mayor and the assistant mayor both were ex-hippies. So I think the mayor at the time when I was there, he was teaching Marxism up at UC Santa Cruz, and he was an old fucking hippie. So we had a whole bunch of old hippies running the fucking town, and then Silicon Valley filled up, and the dot-commers figured, hey, if we just travel right over the mountain, it's a little like half-hour fucking drive from Silicon Valley, there's this beautiful little surf community called Santa Cruz. It's like, surfers and hippies pretty much. And so the dot-commers started to move in, they gentrified the whole fucking town. And I will have to say, when I lived in Santa Cruz, I knew the two black guys that lived in Santa Cruz. That's how fucking white Santa Cruz was. But it still got fucking gentrified. So this is not a race-specific thing. It's a class thing. And as I was reminded on my Feel Free channel, there's no such fucking thing as the middle class. There never fucking has been. If you work for a living, you're fucking working class, period. If you got a boss, you're fucking working class, period. There is no fucking middle class. This is just like keep us fighting amongst each other and grabbing for them fucking breadcrumbs that don't exist. But it's kind of political, and that happens over at the Feel Free 13 channel. All of your ancestors love you. You are them. They are you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm Norse and my ancestors are the bomb. Absolutely. Yes, all of your ancestors. That's why I'm a communist. Yes, I mean, actual communism, the idea that everything is shared and everybody contributes to society at their ability. So like if you happen to be rich, you contribute more to society because of your fucking wealth. That's a beautiful idea that's never been tried. Socialism, the idea that workers are in control of the means of production. It's a great idea. Labor's entitled to all it produces. However, that's never been tried. Democracy, the idea that everybody gets an equal vote. Hasn't been tried either. Hasn't been tried here. We are not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. You should learn that if you don't already know. Um, all of these are lovely ideas that somebody should try someday. Communism, socialism, democracy. These are all really interesting ideas that somebody at some point should try. What has been tried is totalitarian control of all of these systems. And in communism, in socialism, totalitarian control is not part of the equation. In democracy, totalitarian control is not part of the equation. But those are the only equations that we've seen play out on the world stage. These things have not happened. Have a happy holiday. You too. Dad, Witch, Voodoo, and Alex. Bye. Thanks for coming. Tag me in more videos. I love to see Alex doing her magic. If you could just all do magic like Alex, man, you'd have a better time out here on TikTok. She doesn't care about anybody's crap. Yeah, you know, she's a kid. Oh, thank you for sending me likes. Yeah, hit the screen twice to send likes. If you're not following, follow me. Hey, Hound, shut the fuck up. All right, Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. I'm on TikTok and YouTube at the same time, so I'll be going back and forth from screen to screen. The government uses police and military to enforce totalitarianism. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I've seen people say that the police were originally come up with specifically to keep black people in control. However, I've not seen a citation on that statement that makes any sense yet. While that may be the case, the police force came out of the Pinkertons. The Pinkertons was a private security force used against organizing unionists in the United States. That's where the idea of police came from, was from the Pinkertons. And the Pinkertons were originally to fight against the unionists who were protesting. Eventually, yeah, I'm sure, you know, police become these enforcement agencies, enforcing, you know, the ownership of slaves, that kind of thing. But the origin of police work in this country comes from the Pinkertons and the union movement. They didn't have police as we know it before that. Dad Witch Voodoo, I already said bye to you. Okay, cool. What do we got going on over here on YouTube? The Supreme Court often votes in favor of capitalism rather than plebeians. That's true. I can't argue with that. Wait, why am I not an anarchist now? I'm probably an anarcho-socialist. Because I'm still a wobbly. Look that up. Yeah. Go over to my Feel Free channel, you find out all about that. Feel Free 13. I'm driving, you're educating my whole car full. Yay! Good. Don't be looking at the screen while you're driving though. I'll talk loud enough. Can you hear it in the back of the car? All right, I am going to urinate profusely and then I'll be back. looks like I didn't miss anything over there. And didn't miss anything over there. Uncle Birch coming to you live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Coming to you live from New Orleans. Hoodoo Mama joined. You were already here, man. Oops. Well, what are you all doing? I'm Uncle Birch, teaching witchcraft for a living. It's a good job. Never saw that coming. I did many things, and then it turned out that that ended up being my job. It's 8:05 p.m. here. Oh, that's right, you're in the UK. It's a lovely afternoon over here. Ah, the instance of me owning blood-soaked land. Might want to do some cleansing on that land. I mean, really, most of our land is blood-soaked. They always say that corn grows best on old battlefields. Is Hoodoo Mama on TikTok? Yeah, it's actually Hoodoo_Mama. MAMA, yeah. 34. Hoodoo_Mama 34. What are you whining about, you big oaf? Big, massive dog whining like that. Guess that's true. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I'm over here reading stuff on YouTube. Going back over here. Got a couple dogs. We got Mojo. He's a Catahoula leopard dog, and a bunch of greyhound and mini schnauzer. He doesn't look anything like a schnauzer. A giant schnauzer doesn't look anything like a giant schnauzer. He looks like a greyhound. So a skinny little guy. He just won't gain weight. And then Azzy, who's like the big guy. He's German Shepherd, Husky, Weimaraner, some Pit Bull. And I think that's it. Looks like a husky though. They're both, each one of them has like one blue eye. Thanks for your perspective. You're welcome. That's what I do. Dog is a Lab X Staffy. Okay, so Staffy.
Staffy's
some
American
pit bull,
Staffordshire Terrier.
Yeah, some pit bull. So Lab
Yeah.
pit bull mix. That's one of my favorite mixes. I mean, labs are always cool, but Lab pit bull's a good fucking mix, man. I've had a few of those. Thanks for the likes, Nicole Nightfall. Uncle Birch coming to you live on YouTube and TikTok simultaneously. He's nuts. Nothing more nuts than Mojo. We just had some people come over, and you know, I have to hold him back. He's so excited about everything, and since I'm holding him by his collar, he squeals and whines with this guttural. He scared the fuck out of the UPS driver yesterday. He's just crazy, and so I have to like hold him back when somebody comes over for like the first 10 minutes, and then he gets over it. How is NOLA COVID crazy in New York right now? I think Marta always knows the numbers. You know, we
They were getting better. They're getting worse.
Yeah.
Now, so.
Yeah. Here in New Orleans, people were wearing masks before it was mandated. They were getting vaccinated before it was mandated. So we've done pretty pretty well with that. My dog Abby was a Lab Rottweiler mix. Best dog ever. Oh, a Lab Rottweiler. That's, I like big dog energy. Big dogs are fucking cool, man. It's like, they're so much mellower than this skinny little fucking hound over here. But it's apparently possum season. Around like 8 o'clock at night, I've had to become really careful with the dogs because every night for a week they caught a possum. And one night they were both playing tug of war with the possum. It was really vicious as fuck. Every time, you know, I wrestle the possum away from them, make them go inside, and then about like 15 minutes or so, the possum gets up and goes on their merry fucking way. And one of those times, I got a good chunk of possum trying to pry the dog's jaws off of its head. And man, possums are thick. They got some thick fucking fur, so that's why they can get chewed up by a dog and play possum and be fine. But lately they've been catching a lot of possums. All right, people seem to be trailing off. I seem to be trailing off. Just figured I'd go live because I haven't been going live, so check me out at gumroad.com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL. The next class will launch New Year's Eve. And so if you go over to gumroad.com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL, set up an account and follow me, you'll get a notification when Gumroad, over here, Gumroad, like gum on your shoe, walking down the road, .com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL. And you'll get a notification when the class launches, and then you just click over there and click on the class to join it, and we'll be off and running with a whole bunch of new witches. Hopefully we'll take over social media and teach some real witchcraft. So, as our ancestors used to say, to remind us of the troubled times through which they came and the breadcrumb trail they left you to follow in the ways. Merry meet, merry part, merry meet again, y'all. And now...